I'll answer the question. You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
And it's time to jump into DraftKings. Go to DraftKings today at DraftKings.com. Golf, NASCAR, soccer, you name it. And, of course, Major League Baseball, basketball, hockey, and football. Go to DraftKings.com. Listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks for DFS advice all year round.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays. Drive time? Find the Armchair Quarterback Show on Facebook today.
Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. We cover the whole SEC all season long.
First and goal. Franks. Jump pass. Hello, Tebow. From going deep. High arcing shot. It is hauled in. Terry Godwin. And he stays up. Godwin dances into the end zone. 75 yards. Tagovailoa flushed out of the pocket. He'll run with it. He's got the first down and more. Still on the run. He is gone. Touchdown, Alabama. Second down and 10. Garantano over the middle. Ty Chandler. It's a race to the end zone, and he wins it. 42 yards. Touchdown, Tennessee. What a great.
This is
Armchair.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Drive time. Armchair Quarterback Show. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Kick off fall and kick off happiness with Schafferhofer Grapefruit and Pomegranate Beer. Log on to kickoffhappiness.com for your chance to win a cool custom cooler with Schafferhofer swag, including your favorite team's jersey. Look for the Schafferhofer displays at your local retailers for great savings on Schafferhofer Grapefruit and Pomegranate. And learn more about the sweepstakes at kickoffhappiness.com. See site for official rules. Must be 21 or older. Brewed and bottled in Germany. Imported by Radeberger Group USA, Norwalk, Connecticut. Always enjoy responsibly.
So imagine how much I'm actually making to play. You know what I'm saying? No, I got to get my money. I'm not playing unless I get mine. It's not worth it. It's not.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Holy Armchair.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks, CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Nick Saban, who has led Alabama's football program to 6 national titles, also a national title at LSU, has agreed to a 3-year extension, extending him to a total of 8 years. Saban is set to make $8.4 million this coming season, and his new deal will include annual increases in his salary that would take his average annual salary to more than $10 over the life of the contract. Major League Baseball is back to a full slate today at 7:05 Eastern. It's the New York Mets at the Baltimore Orioles. David Peterson versus Bruce Zimmerman. The Atlanta Braves invade Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. It's Drew Smyly versus Aaron Nola. Covering Duck, Braves fans. Also at 7:05, the Dodgers are at the Pirates. Buehler versus Brubaker. And Valdez and the Astros take on the Red Sox and Martin Perez. First pitch, 7:10. Other games of interest. At 7:10, the Rays host the Nationals. Glasnow versus Lester. Brewers and Reds at Sonny Gray versus Adrian Hauser. The White Sox are at home against the Blue Jays. Robbie Ray versus Rodon. Should be a strikeout fest. The Yankees are at the Twins trying to get off the schneid after getting swept by the Boston Red Sox. Montgomery will battle Pineda. And the Cleveland Indians start their series at 8:15 Eastern in St. Louis. They take on the Cardinals. It's Justin Bieber against Carlos Martinez. At 9:38, Royals at Angels. And to finish off the evening, the Cubs are at the Padres. Davies against Dinelson Lamet. In the NBA playoffs, you got a doubleheader this evening. 7:30 Eastern, the Atlanta Hawks try to take a 2-0 series lead against the Sixers. That game is in Philly. And at 10 p.m. Eastern, it's the Clippers at the Utah Jazz, the number 1 seed, hosting Los Angeles after their 7-game series. In the National Hockey League, Tampa Bay is at Carolina. The Lightning are up 3-1. In Vegas and Colorado, tied at 2 apiece, they head back to Denver. The Avalanche trying to take the series lead as the number 1 seed. And tonight, the Women's College World Series begins. It's set to take place on ESPN. And that's your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Almond butter tastes like fake peanut butter, and I've rid my entire house of it. Good try, woman. Good try.
That took me by surprise. Hi, I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. Evidently, today is National Call Your Doctor Day. That seems fitting since it's game 1 of the Women's College World Series. Go Seminoles, baby! Shocked Bama! Now we got to try to take out the number 1 team, that's all. Oklahoma, here we come.
You're very lucky that you're with somebody as resilient as Frank Reynolds.
You tried to off yourself 2 times in the last 24 hours, Frank.
Well, listen. This business partner of mine, Cole, he's got a great plan. This is the man who's going to make us rich.
This is the man?
Yes.
This man lives in a cardboard box.
Times is tough. Thanks for getting down here so quick.
It's Charlie?
Charlie.
Charlie is your new business partner?
Andra, this is going to work. Feast your eyes.
What is that?
These are crabs. Fresh, local Delaware runoff crabs.
Those don't look anything like crabs.
Well,
Isn't there some kind of, sewage runoff around here?
Yeah, there's a pretty bad sewage runoff, but, crabs is sewage-proof. And depression-proof. We're crab people now.
We're crab people now?
Yes.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee sitting alongside Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great, Mac, and I feel like I need to fill you in on a funny little almond butter story.
I got to hear that.
Yeah, you got to hear it. And just know, I'm telling this story in true. You got to put yourself in fat boy mentality. I hope everybody's still doing good with their weight loss. I've dropped a few, hadn't been on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up to you. We'll do another weigh-in beginning of next month because I kind of screwed that up, and I got confused on what day. Anyways, I was supposed to bring it up last week, and I forgot.
Long story short, I had gotten myself down to 314. I weighed 315 this morning due to almond butter. So it was so nasty. I thought, like, I opened the pantry and I'm like, oh man, this is a treat. This is like some Nutella peanut butter. You know, had a brown lid. It got all faked out by the lid, didn't read the label. And oh my God, to my surprise, I had to eat a cupcake just to get the taste out of my mouth. I mean, that's where the pound came from. It was that bad. I broke down and got weak. Had to have real food and sugar to replace that because I'm a peanut butter guy, and I don't know about you, but I like a spoonful of peanut butter. I just get me a spoonful, go on those.
So is almond butter supposed to taste like butter, or is it supposed to taste like peanut butter?
It was supposed to be peanut butter, based on the piece of bread, and it spread across it on the label. That but again, I just thought it was some concoction of like a honey Nutella butter or something.
I'll tell you what is good that I found that I always forget that I have. But it's phenomenal, and it takes like 2 seconds to put it together. Have you ever tried this PB Fit? It comes in like a big jar, and it comes basically in like a peanut butter flavored looking powder. Okay, you add just like a little bit of water, and you just stir it, and you spread it on. It's phenomenal. I couldn't believe how good it is. And I got like this huge, ridiculous jar for like $15, whatever the hell it was, on I think it was Amazon. I highly recommend that if you like peanut butter and you're trying to find a healthy alternative. It is unbelievably good. And I'll look for stacks, and I just always forget that I have the damn thing out, and I need to sit it down right in front of me. The problem is it's so big it sits on top of my fridge because I don't want to have some big gafus thing in my way when I'm trying to cook and whatnot. But I don't think I've ever tried almond butter, but PB Fit's really good.
I mean, it might be good if you're looking for it, but when it sneaks up on, I like to get my health food head on, like know it's coming. But when it sneaks up on me and it just bamboozles me, I'm just like, oh no, I'm out. Trash can, you go.
How good this hamburger is, and then it's tofu, right?
Yeah. You got to prepare me. I got to know going in what I'm getting into.
Amen to that. So we found a pretty funny article yesterday, and we wanted to lead off the show with this because I'm just cracking up about the fact that, or maybe I found it funnier than most, but I'm cracking up about the fact that the sticker shock is freaking out Trey Lance moving to not just California, but moving to the San Francisco area, which is notorious one of the most expensive places to live in the world. People always think about New York, but San Francisco is actually more expensive. And he goes in as number 3 overall pick. Obviously, he's making good money, but they started breaking down average price listed for I don't know what the hell this is.
I believe it was like an 1,800 square foot home was 1.96 out in Santa Clarita out by the stadium.
Right. And so they were comparing that to like Green Bay, which you're talking about 230,000, which is pretty norm for middle America, right? I think Florida, we're a little higher now because so many people are trying to move here. But in general, I'd say you can get a nice home in Florida as long as you're not on the coast for somewhere between $250,000 to $300,000. I'm not sure is that about what Tennessee is around these days?
Yeah, I mean, well, depending on the neighborhood, you've got to stay out of the major cities right now because I don't think you can't walk anywhere in there and find anything affordable. The mass exodus from Nashville has really driven markets crazy here, and all the Franklins, Brentwoods, Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet's, all the surrounding suburbs to Nashville. But outside of that, yes, I mean, that would be our coastal area. If you avoid those, then yes, I think you can find the similar thing you can find down there in Florida.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Nashville is going to have to be careful and not become the new Hollywood, because every time I turn on the TV, someone's saying how they just moved to Nashville, specifically how great it is there and whatnot. I'm like, okay, first of all, I remember, was her name Tommy Laren, or is it Tony Laren? Whatever her name is. She moved there like a year ago, didn't know they were going to do like a 33% tax hike the moment she moved there. So of course, she's a political person, so she's always calling that out, right? But I saw Candace Owens move there the other day, and I guess it's got to be because one of their, I can't remember the name of her thing that she does. Ben Shapiro does it with her, where they try to charge you to watch content. But it must be based out of Nashville at this point. But Nashville is such a blue city, which you've talked about in how they constantly raise taxes. It's going to become like the new San Francisco if they don't watch out with all the damn, taxes here, taxes there. That's why San Francisco is so expensive, is because they constantly raise taxes there. But I think it's funny that like a young kid he probably just doesn't know anything about the political side of life, gets stuck in the middle there. Now he's coming from what, North Dakota State?
To the North or South Dakota, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's escaped me. I'm pretty sure it's North. But anyways, point being, if I'm him, I take my money and stretch it where I'm from. Now I don't know where he's actually from. I guess I should pull that up. But
Marshall, Minnesota. The average sales price in his town is $198.
What city is
That's
it?
about 2,100 square foot, and that's including a basement as well. Marshall, Minnesota.
Okay, that's why that Marshall was up there. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, if I'm him, I'm staying in that type of area. I don't know if I want to be, if it's anywhere close to Minneapolis, I don't know if I want to be next to that. Seems like there's always something bad happening there.
I mean, if I'm an NFL player and I'm going out there, I'm thinking pure investment real estate. I mean, there's no way I'm buying a mansion or an 1,800 square foot home. I'm not spending that kind of loot. But a townhome, something like that, I move on, or my career takes me. Hey, what does it hurt to own a little property in the most expensive rent in the world? I mean, 700 square foot apartments are going for $2,500 all the way up to $4,000.
The only thing about it though, it's not just expensive to buy property in California. It's expensive to maintain it, because doing taxes as my second gig, I get people all the time who are calling about their tax situation in California, and it is ridiculous what they charge. So I don't know, if I'm him, I'm buying something and building something close to where I'm from, or maybe where he went to school in the Dakotas. And then I'm either renting or, like you said, buying something very small, because my mansion is going to be, look, when I'm in San Francisco playing for the 49ers, that's going to be my business, right? So I'm going to go there, and I don't want it to be so luxurious where I want to lay around. I want it to be where I think to myself, I need to get to the San Francisco 49ers complex and work my ass off, right? Make it as cheap as possible, and then build you something nice during the off season out wherever you're from. And maybe he doesn't want to live in Minnesota, because when you're a young kid, you want to explore and whatnot. But I would build something. Let me put it this way: I wouldn't build on the coasts. I'd build in Middle America, because when you build on the coast, you usually pay the price in more than one way. Let's go ahead and dive into the. I just found it funny, because I bet he's going, I bet Trevor.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's you lose out the number 3. You should have fell a little bit or come up. Maybe it's less money, but you make more money because you're not in San Francisco. So and then you think the taxes as well. I mean, that's got to be the most looming thing.
His quality of life is crap compared to Trevor Lawrence, right? Because Trevor Lawrence is in a city where your buck stretches really far, and of course he's got the number 1 overall salary as well. So sucks to suck. Anyways, good luck with that, buddy, out there in San Fran. You're gonna be out there waiting tables on the weekends to pay.
A smart man would negotiate his housing from the 49ers. Just get that included. Hey man, y'all putting me up in this crap. I ain't spending no money here.
A smart man would have a paper route that he went to. Right as he goes to the stadium, he just tosses it out the window, right? Don't do it with your throwing arm, but you know what I mean. NHL last night, big game, big W, as the Islanders. Look out, man! They're about to shock everybody. They can take a 3-2 lead against Boston. They jumped out to a huge lead, 4-1, or I'm sorry, 4-2 at the end of 2, and then 5-2. Boston came roaring back, but they held on. Did you get a chance to see much of this?
Not of that game. I caught the very tail end and watched pretty much the most of the Jets Canadians game.
Ugh, what a crap series that was. 4-0. The Jets are gone.
It's pretty amazing if you're a Canadians fan. I think they were down 3-1 to the Maple Leafs, ended up coming back and winning that, and then to sweep the Jets. I've got a little soft spot on that roster. You know, Shea Weber, who will always be my captain of the Nashville Predators, is captain of the Canadians. So it's good to see him on there. You know, deep down, I'd like to see a former Predator or a guy I'm a fan of hoist the cup if my team's not. So pulling for him, we'll see how it goes.
Tonight you got Vegas and Colorado tied 2-2, and then Carolina is fighting for their playoff lives. They're down 3-1, but they are at home. So you figure they're going to come out with a lot of fight and punch. Really, if you look at it, if Carolina holds serve at home, they just got to find a way to win one more game in Tampa. So this is a big game for both teams because I don't think Tampa wants to see this thing go 6.
True. I mean, they would like to put it out tonight and get a little bit of rest, especially considering you're facing a tied series 2-2 over in the Vegas Avalanche matchup.
Is that who they face? This is so weird.
Well, I said that, but now that you question it, we'll restructure.
I was thinking it was Tampa was going to play New York.
Because now you have to bring Montreal into the fold. So
I was thinking Montreal was going to play the winner of the Vegas-Colorado game. I need to pull that up real quick.
I haven't looked how it was reseeded. I forget we're that far already. And, well, I guess it's a good thing the Canadians swept the Jets. They can start their quarantine or whatever they need to do so we can see some travel.
Yeah, they let me see. I'm going to pull up the playoff bracket because I'm honestly not 100% sure. I know where I thought it was.
I believe they reseed, but I don't remember what the reseeding is.
Yeah, so the winner of Boston, New York plays the winner of Carolina, Tampa. And then the West plays the West, which makes sense. It's just really confusing because this isn't a typical year where you have although I really like the restructure. I don't know about you, but if it were me, I would if I'm the NHL, I would seriously consider keeping it where it is. I just think it's good to have all these natural rivalries. Obviously, you would next year play with outside of your divisions, right? But I really like the structure that they came.
Okay, I thought you were saying another year just playing. I was like, no, I like a lot of the matchups I didn't get to see this year. You know,
No, I'm just talking about the divisions. I think it's great. First of all, it'll make it so much easier for travel, and then of course fans just keeping up with it mentally. If you know you're playing in your region, you're like, son of a gun, it's a division game. So, you know, sometimes it gets a little weird when Nashville is in the same are they in the same division as Vegas, or are they just in the same conference typically?
Same conference.
Okay. But
what's weird is Arizona and Nashville are in the same. That's with the Seattle Kraken. They're moving Arizona Coyotes into the Central. I guess that's because of maybe it's the Arizona time thing. Maybe the times line up where they don't change daylight savings and all that. I have no rhyme or reason as to why. It's the only thing of logic I can come up with.
I guess it was the furthest team east that they could get over. I don't know. Look, I just think it would be better for the NHL to make it closer. I don't know if I necessarily like the series that they did, because sometimes you get burned out watching the same two teams play 3-4 nights in a row, 2-3 nights in a row. But I like the divisions. I honestly think all the sports should do this. They should, I know they're just doing it because of COVID and they're going to go back to their old crap, but I think they've stumbled into something that would really work. Because we've talked forever about how different sports need to change their alignment, because over the years these teams move and then they don't do anything about it. And then you got the weird situation where why are the Marlins and Braves in the same division as New York City, Philadelphia,
DC?
Yeah, you've got the Toronto Blue Jays in the same division as the Tampa Bay Rays, and that was only relevant for like a month when they were down in Dunedin playing their games because they couldn't get into their own country. But that's just it's stupid and weird. It's better to build the rivalries, I think. Because
I'm not opposed. I mean, I'd like to see the Rangers and the Astros move over into the Braves and the Florida team. So, I mean, I think you could have something nice there.
I was
if you did like you did a South, a Northeast,
I
you
was
actually
going
centralized
to
them.
push more for us to play teams that aren't very good. Like, I'll take Texas, but I was thinking like, we can get into like Kansas City's division. Let's get us the hell away from the Mets, man. I don't want to see DeGrom 17 times a year. That's that's my biggest concern there. And eventually,
Chicago into the fold.
And I don't know about you, but eventually I believe Girardi's going to get it straightened out in Philly. I just hope it's not this.
I would just love to see the world where the Reds, the Braves, and the Cardinals, that little triangle that I live inside of, are all in the same division, because I want to just see my neighbors have complete turmoil.
Now, what I would like to see are the Marlins and the Rays in the same division. And they never want to do it because they want an AL team here and an NL team. And I'm always like, why? Why wouldn't you want to see those two teams in the same division and going at each other? Figure out the television rights. But I'm talking about fans would travel. I'm talking about fans would watch. I know a lot of Marlins and Rays fans that pay much more attention when they're playing each other than any other time of year, right? Because Rays Yankees is not a natural rivalry. So I think it would be great to have Marlins and Rays in the same division. I don't know about Atlanta. Maybe you could do Texas and Florida, put them in the same division, and then I guess you just grab one of the random team or whatever. But yeah, that's hell. Put Colorado in there. No one watches the Rockies. Ish. Then, by the way, did you see Jim Fossil died this morning?
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Passed away at 71. I guess he had chest pains. Was rushed to the hospital. I was either yesterday or the day before, and he passed away, 71 years young. Of course, Jim Fossil, the ex-Giants coach. I want to say he was doing some broadcasting for a while. I haven't seen him in quite some time. But the other big thing going on, obviously today, you've got the Women's College World Series begins, Florida State versus Oklahoma. This FSU team seems like a team of destiny to me, Justin, because they were not playing very good softball. I've been watching most of their games this year, and they caught fire like 3 weeks before the playoffs started. They actually jumped up to number 10. They've been muddling around like at the bottom of the top 25 all year long. I still think they're going to be outclassed by Oklahoma. Oklahoma was the prohibitive favorite. And when they lost to James Madison that first game, everyone was shocked because it's like, oh, look out. Because normally if you lose that first game, it's very difficult to make the run. In fact, the only team in the last 20-something years to lose the first game and win it all was Florida State in 2018. Well, this year you're going to get it again because both Florida State and Oklahoma lost the first game. And they just make it incredibly difficult to march through afterwards. But the electricity of those crowds, I'll tell you one thing, hate Bama. We know that. We all hate Bama. If you're a red-blooded American, you hate Bama. But their crowds get into it at everything. And they were out of the softball. I don't know if you caught any of it, but they had it was like watching an English premier soccer crowd. They had cheers, chants, all kinds of nonsense going on. FSU's up 8-0. And I'm like, hell yeah, because softball's hard to score. Next thing I know, man, it's 8-5. We still got 2 innings left. I'm like, crap. They're gonna blow the biggest lead in the history. They're gonna choke these poor girls. They're just gonna. Anyways, I
have nothing but Brad Shelton one-liners running through my head about the Alabama fan base right now. Just let you know you brought that up.
Did you happen to catch any of the FSU Florida's the FSU Bama games last couple of nights?
No.
I'll save most of my comments for off air to you, but I will say this: there was some stuff going on Twitter. I didn't see as much last night. I saw it the night before because I think everyone thought they were just going to lose. We'll just say that the Bama girls are healthy. I'm going to use that line. And they started making jokes because it started with the guy saying the FSU women's softball team is hot. And people are like, you can take that a lot of ways, joking back and forth. Are they good looking? And the fact that they're, playing well. because there are some good-looking girls on there, right? It transitioned to, and this is more women than men doing this. It transitioned to them making jokes about how Florida State's Mike Norvell needs to be at that game recruiting the Alabama girls to come in the transfer portal for the offensive line. And that girl hit the home run last night, dude. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if me and you together could whip her ass. I mean, she was a hoss. She come into the place like, my God, you could watch a movie on her back. And about the time I said that, she slammed one out of the building. I was like, ugh, I don't know if it's a thing, but can we like throw at her in softball? Is that a thing? You know, do they do that? I would just pop her. And they've got the weird rule. Tell me this isn't a weird rule that they could pinch run once a game for their players in softball. And I do not like that rule at all, because I'm like, it takes away the athleticism. You have this big hog up there at the plate. She gets on because she walks or she hits a sing, or hell, that girl could have hit one off the wall and it's going to be a single. I'm telling you. And so then they bring some little skinny mini in to run for her who's lightning fast. And I guess it's been going on for a while. They call it a courtesy runner in softball. And I remember it because last time I really got into it was 18 when FSU was playing really well. But I hate that rule.
I've always hated pinch runners, period. I mean, if it's not an injury, you didn't get there. I mean, I've always just felt that you did not get there. I mean, so if Bartola Colon hits a single and gets on first, well, Bartola Colon's got to find a way you got to get the big boy all the way down to home. That's part of the game.
Right. But at least in baseball, if you pinch run, that's it. That person can't come back.
Right. I do like that there's the penalty there. I'm just saying I don't like it, period. But yes, I really don't like the rule that everybody can do it. I mean,
I was confused until the first time it happened this weekend, because FSU's playing Bama and the Bama girl gets a walk or a single. I don't remember. It was the big hoss that hit it out the building. Pinch runner comes in. I was like, damn, man, they're playing some strategy right now. And then I saw her start putting her catcher's gear on I was like, the hell's going on here? So I Googled it real quick. I was like, what is going on with this rule? And come to find out I think they used to call it a courtesy rule. Now they call it something else, but essentially they can only do it once a game, but they can bring her out to run. And I'm like, that's crap. Skinny Minnie ought to have to get behind the plate and figure out how to be a backstop. I mean,
get wide.
Yeah, that girl was so skinny though. I think that if she did have to be forced to catch the ball, that damn softball was going to throw her up against the fence. The first one she tried to catch. I can tell you right now, hoss that hit it out the building is not a vegan. I can just tell you that right. She ain't eating no almond butter. I tell you that right now.
And you're softball watching. I know we what did this start 3 or 4 years ago. When did you win your last national championship? I know you know it.
18.
Okay. This has turned into full blown you're a softball fan now. Yeah, you're a softball fan now.
Yeah, I'm a softball. I'm a women's soccer fan. If Florida State got good, I guess I would watch men's, but they're always like, eh. But one thing I liked about softball now that I didn't like about, I will say 10 years ago when I would try to watch it, there's more scoring and there's more legitimacy of them actually being able to get on and do. And what the funnest part about Florida State watching them, I know this sounds like a Florida State softball show, but it's not. I guess they lead the country in stolen bases. So they run the bases. So I guess one thing is I like the most about it reminds me of old school baseball where there's constant movement on the base paths. And of course, in softball, you got to wait for the ball to be thrown for you before you can take off running. So it makes it a much, much more sketchier situation. Of course, the girls behind the plate don't have the arms of a Yadier Molina or something, right? But you see more stolen base attempts in that sport, and so that's why I think I've been drawn to. If it was what I watched about a decade ago when they would sit there and just hope for a 3-run home run and everyone was beating each other 1-0, I don't think I could get into it as much. But yeah, it's been fun. Hell, we're at the top of the hour. What's your walk off?
You're gonna go watch Jessica Mendoza highlights after this?
The problem is she's broadcasting with Mallons. Now that's my living hell. Michelle Smith's in there with her. I like Michelle Smith, but she's in there with, dude, even with softball, Jessica Mendoza makes really just goofy, uncomfortable comments where you're like, oh, God. She's got the worst personality. And Malins, I don't mind her content, but to have to listen over and over, and then I come up to the bar, and all I can think of is someone listened to your voice and said, we gotta hear more of this. Let's get the only thing that'd be worse is if she was doing radio. That's all you could hear, right? You'd be like, ah! At least with TV, you have the option to every once in a while. I just have to mute it because I can't listen to her. It's like nails on a chalkboard. By the way, I'm watching the replay of the FSU Bama game in the corner. They just showed the Bama fans. I'll tell you what, they ain't no vegans in that crowd either. Ain't no almond butter being passed around there. All right, brother. We'll see you Friday. Try to figure out who we're gonna talk about football wise. What college football team that you want to do on Friday?
Will do, sir. I'll let you know.
Or
sooner rather than later.
Or we can just do a 2022 breakdown of the Florida State Seminole softball team coming back.
You want to do a 2022 NFL draft? You want to go ahead? Is it too early for a draft? I mean, mock draft?
You're on the clock.
I'll see you Friday with the number 1 pick.
All right, we're going to be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Bobby the Kid's on the way.
I don't return fruit. Fruit's a gamble. I know that going in.
Are you a gun enthusiast? Love to shop for guns, but are also looking for friendly service? Well, you're in luck. Top Gun Supply is the friendly gun shop. Staff is very knowledgeable, happy to see you when you walk through the door, and can assist you with all your gun shopping needs. Top Gun Supply stocks a wide range of firearms, such as Ruger, Beretta, 6 Hour, HK, and LWRC. So stop on by at Top Gun Supply. Top Gun Supply, the friendly gun shop, a proud sponsor of the Armchair Quarterbacks. Armchair Quarterback Radio is AFC South country, all NFL season long.
They hand it off for Ned. He's driving, and he's in for the touchdown. Wow! Drive starts at the 1 and looking for a little breathing room, and they get that and plenty more. Derrick Henry still going. Stays in bounds. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable. 2nd and 10. Empty set. Walk downfield. And that is Hilton again. 1st and goal. Ebron. What a year for him. Eric Ebron. Touchdown. Colts.
Slant caught. Touchdown. Marquise Lee. And he punched the ball into the stands.
Deep. And he's got it. Keelan Cole. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Stay locked in to the AFC South on Armchair Quarterback Radio.
World air quality is at an all-time low.
But hey, that doesn't mean you can't have a little fun. New from Mattel, it's the greenhouse gas gun. Do you hate the snowman next door? Use the greenhouse gas gun. Want to piss off an entire room full of tree huggers? Use the greenhouse gas gun. There is simply no end to the amount of fun and respiratory disease you can have with the greenhouse gas gun.
Armchair.
We actually enjoyed our New Year's resolutions. We'd all have 6-packs, money in our saving accounts, and we'd know how to play the piano. I have to tell you about the one resolution I actually enjoy. It's Built Bar. It's delicious. Oh, yeah, it's healthy too. Built Bar is healthier than your favorite protein bar. They're low-cal, low sugar, high protein, high fiber, great for the keto diet. Lose or maintain weight while indulging. And with only 4 net carbs and 150 calories, there's no guilt. Visit BuiltBar.com.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Good morning, CBS Sports Radio, YouTube Live. Welcome back. Second half of the show, and Bobby the Kid is with us. Bobby, how the hell are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm playing some country music for your Nashville brothers up there. Are they doing concerts in full back in Nashville yet?
Well, I haven't seen too much about concerts opening up, like big ones with Bridgestone Arena and all that. I'm assuming though that we're going to be getting back to that pretty soon. But the local concerts at the bars and stuff, those have been going on.
Well, now how would you know about that?
I've been up there a little bit, nothing like that, but I've been around Nashville.
You get yourself a fake ID yet?
Not yet, no.
I don't know if anyone's gonna buy you walking in with that fake.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna take that.
Bro, I don't even want to let you into a rated R movie, much less sell you a beer.
Yeah, that might take a couple more years.
PG-13. No. You're not old enough. I wonder if they still card for. So when I was growing up was well over 100 years ago. When you would go to a PG-13 and you were on that cusp, that of course you didn't have an ID, so they would just be asking you questions, like rattling them off to make sure you're 13. I wonder if they even care about. I doubt they even care about that crap anymore.
I mean, yeah, a couple years ago, me and my friend, we went to see a rated R movie, and we had no problem getting in. So I don't think they're a little bit more relaxed nowadays.
Yeah, rated R back in the day, you used to actually have an ID. Dork friend that went out and got a fake ID, and he only got it to be age 19, and he did it because he wanted to get into rated R movies. We're like 17. We're like, the hell's the point of getting a fake ID that you can't even get served alcohol with?
Maybe he's just a big movie guy. Who knows?
That's what it was. I was like, you don't even smoke cigarettes. What is the point of this? And he was like, oh, I get to go see that. I don't even remember what the hell he was so excited about it, saying like, dude, you really screwed that up, man. I was like, find one just 2 years later, just in case. I was like, because back in the day, you could have made some money. Nowadays, I know they're a lot tighter with the restrictions. Back in the day, you could get paid, because now we always had friends that would go get us beer, but a lot of times we had to bribe them. So there was always an advantage to being the guy that was 21 or the guy that had the fake ID, because you would either have to buy their beer or something. They get something free out of it. You might have to buy them a burger or give them $10 or whatever the hell it was, but you didn't just get in there and go, okay, yeah, man, I'll come across town, buy your beer, and that's it. It was a service. Anyways, NBA playoffs. You been watching?
Well, my team. Oh yeah, of course I have. A little bit unfortunately though. The Blazers are out now. Lost in 6 to the Nuggets. I was pretty disappointed by that, but
yeah, I thought of you. I saw it because what did Dame have, like 55 points in the game that they were eliminated in?
On top of that, I believe he scored 18 of our 20 points in both overtimes, and the rest of the team combined for a whopping 2 points. So
it's
not the most help for him.
Is the pressure on just to build around this guy and get him some help? Is there a fear? I want to say he's got 3 years left in his deal. Is there a fear that the guy's going to take off?
I think there's a little bit of that concern. I don't think it's internally though. I think there's obviously that worry amongst the fan base, but I think he's committed to the team. And I think, the Blazers organization knows that. I'm hoping they do. And I'm hoping they, use this opportunity this offseason to build around him, because it's been going on too long where we've been, settling for being mediocre and just getting eliminated in the first and second round. It's just, he's not going to want to put up with it too much longer. So now we're in the position where we've either got to tear it down and rebuild, or we've got to go all in, push the chips to the middle of the table and get a big star.
I mean, look, not that Portland is a good place to live. I mean, it's a terrible crap hole.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, if you've got Dame, I would think there would be free agents who would want to come play with him.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, he's a player that, is driven to win, and obviously one of the best point
You
guards
go
in
up
the
there and
league.
play with him? Would he opt out and go play with Dame time?
With who?
LeBron.
Oh no, I don't think LeBron would settle with living in Portland. I think he'd much rather be in New York or LA or something like that to finish his career.
Well, to finish his career, he may not have a choice unless he.
I think he'd hang it up before he gets to that
I'm
point.
just saying if he hangs on too long. If he hangs on too
Mhm.
long. If you hang on too long, you're Michael Jordan with the Washington Wizards. I'm just putting that out there. You hang on too long, next thing you know, your second best player on your team's Kwame Brown, and you're like, this is not gonna work. I would like to see Dame get paired up with another star to see what he could do, because the guy's just phenomenal. And I don't even know if he needs a superstar. He just needs a good supporting cast that doesn't rely on just him down the stretch.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to follow that in the off season to see if they can add some pieces. The Suns took out the well, they didn't take them out, but they won the first game last night in the Nuggets series. They're up 1-0. 122-105. I was surprised by that. But these Brooklyn Nets are kicking the crap out of Milwaukee. And it's embarrassing what they're doing. And Antetokounmpo, I don't know if you heard his interview after the game, but he was kind of nonchalant about, well, this is what Kevin Durant's supposed to do. He's one of the best players. Aren't you the damn reigning MVP? Talking about what he's
the back-to-back MVP.
Yeah. Why are you not? I mean, come on. No, and no one.
Giannis is that guy.
Yeah, it's a fair. Yeah, he's good. But what?
No, Giannis. He needs to. I mean, I know Chris Middleton. He had a rough game. But I expected at least this series to be a little bit more competitive. I thought the defensive matchups the Bucks had with the Nets going into the series were already good as it is, and then Harden got hurt. So after that, I thought the series was going to be a lot closer than before, but it's not looking like it at all. I mean,
they said in straight close and they won by what, 40? Good Lord.
Yeah.
So
the Nets look unstoppable right now.
I know it's just one game and they can easily get back into it, but they don't play again until Thursday. So Harden, have you heard the long-term prognosis on him? Is he expected to be back Thursday?
I don't think much has gotten out about that. I don't know the severity of the injury really. I'm hoping for the sake of entertainment, I guess, that he's going to be all right, because, I think that'd make up for an entertaining, playoff run for the Nets. But I don't know. It's a hamstring injury. He was ruled out pretty quickly after he left the game, which is always a concern. So I don't know. I mean, I think they don't really need him for this series, and they might not need him to win the East even. But they'll want to have him back sooner rather than later.
That's so sad to say that you don't think that they need him to win the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie and Durant, they're playing great.
Well, I don't know if healthy Embiid, Philadelphia gets rolling and gets out of that Atlanta series, they might have their hands full if they do not have Harden. I think they would probably need him to beat Philly. Now they won't now if Atlanta keeps doing Atlanta things, I don't think they would be able. You know who the Hawks remind me of? They remind me of a very young Golden State team where no one's taking them serious. They're scoring at will. They've got a guy who can just score from anywhere on the floor. They remind me of a young. I know that Curry and Young's games are a little different, but they just remind me of a really young Golden State team. I think everyone's selling him short, and the Sixers are in trouble.
Well, no, I saw that comparison being made. Trae Young and Kevin Herter, I think his name is. I think that's how you pronounce it. I saw a comparison between those two and a young Steph and Klay Thompson. I thought that was interesting. I think it might be a little bit premature, but I could see it happening. I mean, Trae Young, he's a special talent, and I think he's proved a lot of people wrong this postseason.
So maybe Kevin Durant will get tired of playing with Kyrie, and he'll go down to Atlanta.
Maybe.
And that's the actual new Golden State team.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and dive into the National Football League. We're doing predictions on all the teams in the NFL and most of the teams in the Power 5 conferences this summer. So we're going to go to the San Francisco 49ers and predict their schedule. And it really throws me off on the rhythm of this thing because 17 games, it's hard for me to get that straight in my head that they've added that. So it just seems unnatural that they didn't add 2 as opposed to adding 1. But anyways, here we go. The San Francisco 49ers, they will start the regular season off at the Detroit Lions. I don't know about you, but that smells like a W.
I'm in the same boat as you. I think that's going to be a pretty easy win for them.
Did you catch the part of well, we covered at the beginning of the show, but did you catch the fact that Trey Lance is absolutely dumbfounded by how much the houses cost out in San Francisco?
Oh, they're pricey. I haven't seen that, but I'd imagine he's a little bit blown away by it.
Because he was thinking about buying a house, and now he's like, I don't know what to do. Because he was comparing it to the houses from his hometown in Minnesota, which is obviously, night and day. But we were talking about it in the first out, and I looked. My biggest thing was I said, look, either A, you want to stay at home, or B, you don't. But I'm not buying a big mansion out in California because they're losing value out there. So I would, if I'm him, I'm either buying it in the Dakotas where he played ball at, build. I mean, because you can probably build a damn mansion out. I mean, like a rock star mansion for probably 20 grand. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then I would just be like renting an apartment or maybe buy a little small townhome and just make that my workspace. Cause I'm assuming he's not married because he's so young, but who knows? He might've done something incredibly stupid. Okay. So we got San Francisco 1-0. They go to the Eagles. Let's say
I think they add to the win column, make that 2-0. I think it'll be fun to watch Jalen Hurts and Trey Lance go at it, 2 young quarterbacks. But I think ultimately the 49ers come out on top.
All right. I'm going to say that I think the Eagles shock them, mainly because it's on an East Coast. It's a 1:00 kickoff, and that'll be back-to-back weeks that they will have traveled and played early games. I think fatigue's going to hit them. Green Bay in San Fran Sunday night the next week. What say you?
Well, I think we all know what the determining factor on that one is. But assuming the rosters stay put how they are, I'd give the edge to the Packers. And in the case that, Aaron Rodgers is playing somewhere else, I'd say the 49ers win. But right now we'll tack it as an L for the 49ers, considering Aaron Rodgers is still on the Packers.
All right, I'm going to take the 49ers to win. Regardless who's there, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be there. So that's what I'm basing it on. I believe Aaron Rodgers will be elsewhere, or he'll just be holding out and making a big stink, or nothing else is going to be a distraction. So it's going to be an issue. You're either going to have Jordan Love playing quarterback, Blake Bortles in there playing quarterback, or you're going to have Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback and saying all the wrong things in press conferences. Then they're at home against Seattle Seahawks. Big game, big divisional game. What say you?
I think they'll probably split with the Seahawks, so I'll give them the one at home here. I'll tack it down as 3-1.
Okay. I'm going to actually say that they drop this one because, and I do believe that they'll split, but that series is weird and it doesn't seem like home field advantage messes with either one. And I'm just going to give Seattle the benefit of the doubt without having their schedule in front of me and knowing who they play the week before. The Packers on a Sunday night may take a lot out of them. They go to the Cardinals. Your team. What say you?
Another series, I think they split. I think at this point there's still a little bit of gelling to do, I guess, with Trey Lance and the 49ers offense. I think that'll take some time. But it'll be about this time that they start, putting the pieces in place and, start getting it together. I do think the Cardinals will split this series, and since they're the home team, I'll give them the win here. But I think it'll be a fun, high-scoring game, hopefully.
All right, I got the Cardinals winning as well. Jimmy Garoppolo will still be the quarterback in week 5. And Trey Lance, I don't know if Trey Lance will see the light of day, not barring an injury. this year. I think they want him to sit. Now, maybe if it gets totally out of whack and they're like, 4-11, then I can see Trey Lance coming in. But I think they know how raw he is. And the worst thing that could happen to this kid is to throw his feet into the fire and be another David Carr.
That is true, but they do have a team that is kind of built for winning now. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it, whether they want to wait and, like you said, develop them, or whether they want to.
I just don't think Shanahan is going to feel the pressure because he took the team to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So I just don't believe. Now, maybe I'm dead wrong, but if you're bringing back Garoppolo, you're bringing him back to start because you're paying him a lot of money. And Trey Lance is your project, and you want to build up Garoppolo too because you want him to be at the highest value next offseason, so you could possibly move him and then slide Trey Lance into the role, assuming that he's is what he's cracked up to be. Colts coming knocking another. I think that's Sunday night. Yes, Sunday night. 8:20 kickoff on NBC. Now I've got San Fran winning this. What say you?
I'm in the same boat as you. They're coming off a bye this week. They have a pretty early one in week 6. So I think they'll win this game. I think it'll be close. I just don't think Carson Wentz will be able to get the job done.
Wentz is and I hope you're watching, Joey. Carson Wentz is it's going to be a disaster.
Didn't want to say it, but I got the feeling.
Hey, that road just got a lot more difficult for Carson Wentz. Julio Jones, that offense
is going to be tough to win that division.
As you kids say, that offense is going to be lit. And now the problem is our defense might be trash, but our offense is going to be rolling. So I'm looking forward to that. At the Bears the following week, what say you?
I'm going to give the Bears this one, whether it's Lance or Garoppolo playing quarterback at this point. I feel like the Bears defense is going to be giving them a very tough time. And I think the Bears are going to come away with this one, probably in a low scoring game, surprisingly for the 49ers. I'll give the Bears this one.
All right. So we got to speed it up a little bit. The Cardinals and Rams back to back. One's a home game Sunday afternoon. The other one's a home game the following week, the Rams on Monday Night Football. What say you?
Like I said with the Cardinals, I think they're going to split that series, so I'll give the 49ers the win this one. And then playing at home against LA the next week, I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose both games to LA, actually. I think the Rams are a phenomenal team this year, and I think they're going to be steamrolling about anybody in their way.
Then the Jaguars, they're at the Jaguars and home against the Vikings.
I think they'll pick up back-to-back wins here. I think the Jaguars, again, they're still a very young team. They've got a lot of work to do. I don't think they'll have all the pieces in place to beat a team like the 49ers yet. And then on to the Vikings. I think they'll also beat the Vikings. I think the 49ers defense is just going to give Kirk Cousins a miserable time. I already don't think he's too good to begin with, but him going up against a good defense is never a good sign. I think that trend will continue.
I'm going to lean on the fact that I think they will go 2-2 in that stretch. I do think they could be in trouble going to Jacksonville, only because they're a West Coast team. They're going to play Monday night. The very next week, they're going to have a 1:00 kickoff, which is 10 a.m. local time to San Fran. That's kind of rough because you're going to be coming in. I think they could be going, and then at that point, Trevor Lawrence will be a little more adapt to what he's doing. I think Jacksonville has a fighting chance of upsetting them there. The Vikings, I don't believe they'll lose to the Vikings. At Seahawks, at Bengals.
I think 1-1 here. Like I said with the Seahawks again, same thing as the Cardinals. I think they're going to split that series. So I'll give the edge to the Seahawks in this one. And then going into Cincinnati, I think Cincinnati is not going to be very good. I don't think Zach Taylor's that great of a coach, and I think Burrow's going to be a little bit. It's a big question mark with him coming back from injury, and there were some concerns with his play, obviously last year before he got hurt. So I think they'll win against the Bengals pretty handily.
All right, I've got them going 2-0 as well. I don't believe that. I'm I'm sorry, 0-2. I've got them going 0. I said
losing to the Bengals.
Yeah, Seahawks is going to be tough, and then they follow it up once again. They're going to follow it up from a night game to an East Coast kickoff, and I just believe in the fatigue of that, and I think the Bengals are going to be decent just because, assuming Joe Burrow comes back, that offense is going to be fun to watch. And if you're dragging ass getting off that plane in Cincinnati, there could be some real issues. So that's why I think they're going to be freaking out and coming back home. They're going to go play the Titans after they're at home against the Falcons. And then so they go at home against the Falcons, at the Titans, at home against the Texans. What say you?
All right. So against the Falcons, I think they win. I think they win pretty handily. I think it'll be interesting to see this year how the Falcons offense looks without Julio. It's been a long time since we've seen that. But I think the 49ers will win that game. Then going into Tennessee, I think the Titans offense is going to be they're going to go off against the 49ers defense. Specifically the secondary. I think Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, compared to most secondaries, it's going to be a mismatch. But I think specifically this week it will too. And then against the Texans at home, I think they'll pretty easily beat the Texans, as most teams will this year.
The Texans are on the clock right now. I can tell you that right. That the Texans are on the, because if Deshaun Watson's not going to play, and they didn't bring anything worth a damn back to this team, I don't see how the Texans are going to compete. They're going to be the worst team in the division. This is a team that has Tim Tebow in a full rebuild. Okay, so the Jaguars are going to be better than the Texans. It's going to be bad in Houston because I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to take the field for them. He's going to be forced. They're going to be forced their hand to trade, and unless you can pull off some kind of trade miracle where Aaron Rodgers really wants to be in Houston, Texas for some reason because he's found his calling as a country singer or something. Like I don't know why. I don't know how they're going to get anything worth the crap to come back for Deshaun Watson. And
I don't know how they're going to get anything out of him, and I don't know if he'll be playing this season at all, whether he wants to or not. I don't know if he'll be on the field. That's kind of up to the NFL's decision. But there's a lot of question marks.
He's probably going to get an 8-game suspension, which has kind of been the. I mean, that's realistically been the MO for what he's done. So you're going to miss.
Do you think he could?
By the time he comes back, I could see him pulling the. I'm not going to play. I'm going to hold out.
Do you think he could end up on the commissioner's exempt list until the whole situation is resolved or it's come to a verdict? I think that's possible.
I don't think so because they're not expected to have the court case till February, and so if I'm just going off the fact that Antonio Brown did the same thing. Okay. And Antonio Brown got 8 games. Now the difference
is his wasn't as wide of a scale. I mean, looking at all the
right, but he did have 3 women that accused him. Now, I know that's not 22, but he had 3. And where there's 3, there might be 19 more. So I'm just going off the fact that he's not going to get any legal trouble, so to speak, but he's going to get his pockets cleaned out. I just think it's going to be a mess. Okay, so they finish the season off. San Fran does at the Rams. I've got them losing. I think you do too. So where are you at the end of the season? What is their record? San Francisco.
I stand at 10-7 right now. It kind of depends on, I guess, how the Packers situation unfolds. I think that'll kind of flip a win or a loss, but right now I think they'll end up right above 500 at 10-7.
By the way, if you get a chance to go onto ESPN's website and the first story or second story that's on there is about the sticker shock 49er rookies warned about the Bay Area housing costs. And I don't know who this is on the front because it doesn't look like Trey Lance. But I could be wrong. Maybe it is Trey Lance. I don't have him memorized what he looks like. But you got to see his eyes, man. They're bugging out like he's like tripping on something. He was like this, and it is the weirdest picture that they closed captioned. It's almost looks like that they might have messed with it, right? Like, but I've got the San Francisco 49ers, one of my busts this year. They're going to go 7-10. I don't think they have put it together. I think there's going to be turmoil about should they start Lance or not. And I think San Francisco in general, they lost out on the Julio Jones sweepstakes, which means they're going to struggle offensively. And I'm not a believer in Garoppolo, but I also don't think Trey Lance can step in very early. So it's going to be a team that's going to have to beat you in the trenches, and I just don't know if they have enough to compete in that division. So that's where I'm probably being a little too bearish on them. They're probably more of like a 9-8, 8-9 team, but I'm calling it 7-10. Well, let's go ahead and turn back time and then get the heck on out of here. Programming note, of course, Braves Country today will be up at the top of the hour. We're also starting a new, it's a little short segment called Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We're going to be doing this during the week every day. It's going to be about 5 to 10 minutes at the tops, and we're going to hit 3 big sports stories throughout the sports world to try to catch you up to date in case you don't have a chance to watch a hour-long program. All right, let's go ahead and hit this thing. Where are we at? Here we go. I swear, like I've got way too many things on here now. I can't even find. There it is. God bless. All right, on this date, things loud. On this date in 1933, ace first baseman Jimmy Foxx hits 3 consecutive home runs as the Athletics of Philadelphia outscore the Yankees 14-10, 4 straight home runs after Fox had homered last time up previous day. Remember a couple of days ago we talked about Lou Gehrig being the first one to ever do that in Major League Baseball history. Jimmy Foxx was the second. Also on this date, 1955, LA Dodgers option pitcher Tommy Lasorda to make room for one future Hall of Famer and Tommy Lasorda as a coach gets optioned as a player to make room for future Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax. So that worked out pretty damn well for the by the way, there's something in the water on this date. 1961, Milwaukee sets the record of 4 consecutive home runs by 4 different players going back to back to back to back to back. Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Joe Adcock, and Frank Thomas. No, not that Frank Thomas. He wasn't playing until 30 years later. Birthdays.
It's your birthday today. What does that mean?
All right. Happy birthday. Now, this is kind of a weak one today, but happy birthday, 42 years old, Pete Orr. Have you ever heard of Pete Orr?
I recognize the name.
He was kind of a platoon player in Major League Baseball for quite some time, played for the Braves and a couple of other teams. But the big thing with him was the dude had blinding speed. So that's how he stayed around in Major League Baseball for several years where he shouldn't have been. He couldn't hit his weight. I mean, he was a little guy. He was kind of like the way Brett Gardner is now, but he's blinding speed. And so people would roster him to pinch run and to play, when you want to give your shortstop the day off, the second baseman, et cetera.
Steal a lot of bases.
Yes. 38 years old today, Kim Kleichers. Do you know who she is?
I do not.
4-time Grand Slam champion tennis player. Of course, we're in the middle of the tennis. When you go from the French to Wimbledon, and then right after that you get the U.S. Open. This to me is kind of tennis season. I do watch a lot of women's professional tennis. I don't like the men's because there's too many aces. It gets boring as hell. What is your walk off for the day, sir?
Jazz Clippers kicks off tonight at 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern. I think this is going to be one of the better series of the second round. It'll be fun to watch Donovan Mitchell and Kawhi Leonard go at it. And yeah, I think this is going to be a very good series. And I think the winner of this series has probably the best shot to win the West, I think.
My walk-off for the day is, I know baseball's back. We got like 3. I don't know what the hell the deal is with that. There's 3 games yesterday. I kept checking. Is it a national holiday? I couldn't find anything. I was like, why is there only 3 games today? National Boon Day, National Chocolate Ice Cream Day, National VCR Day, and National Oklahoma Day. That can't be why. So I have no idea. But anyways, back to a full slate today. But I'm going to be watching 7:30 Eastern, Lady Seminoles softball college World Series championship. They made it. They're going to play Oklahoma. They're probably in trouble, but I've got to pull for this team through and through. I've been watching them all year, and the fact that they're even at the championship is incredible considering all that they've been through. Speaking of National VCR Day, have you ever actually physically touched a VCR?
I can't say I have.
Do you know what a VCR is?
VCR. It's some type of tape recorder. I don't know. No, I don't know. I can't say I do.
So you know what a DVD player is, right?
I do know what that is. Yes.
It's what preceded the
Okay.
DVD.
Is it that little like rectangle, the black and white one with the tape in it? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Old school tapes. You put them in there. Yeah. It was National VCR yesterday. I'm like, somebody needs to update this list. Because I don't know if there should be another. I mean, if you got a VCR, you're probably trying to sell it on eBay as some kind of a. Can't believe you don't even know what a VCR is.
I've probably seen one, just don't recognize the name too well.
Today, by the way, is National Upsy Daisy Day. I don't know what the heck that means, but anyways, I feel like we have a lot of upsy daisies on this show. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sean O'Toole is with us. We're going to be talking a lot of NHL, and we're going to be getting into some football and other things. Go Seminoles! Kick those Oklahoma. All right, I'm going to clean up my language. We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.